Hello, everyone. Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. I can't remember what video it was on, but it was fairly recent. And there was a person that came in and started saying that, well, it's too late now for people to put up food and to put up for 7 years. And I'm thinking, well, first of all, I've never told anybody you should put up for 7 years. I mean, I might, oh dear, somebody drove by. I'm so scared. Maybe they thought I said that because I was sharing about Joseph, the 7 years and the 7 years, right? But I wasn't saying everybody should put up for 7 years. But this person saying, well, it's too late. If people haven't gone on board yet, it's too late for them. There's not enough money and time for them to put up for 7 years. Well, first of all, I've never told anybody they should put up for 7 years. If you're to a point where you can put up for 7 years, sure, cool. That's great. What I've always tried to encourage people to do is to start small. We've all got to start somewhere, and it's never too late. Never too late to do something to better your situation. It doesn't matter if you've never put up food and never been interested in being more self-sufficient and never thought you needed to prepare for anything, and you're just now considering it, or you've been doing it for 20 years. We can all do something to better our situation. It doesn't even matter how limited your funds are. Because especially if you're an American, if you live here in America, or very likely if you live in the UK, I'm going to assume, I think we all have something. We all have some little luxury or 2 or 10, something that we like to spend our money on that is absolutely not necessary. And we justify it because it's only 50 cents. It's only $5. What if that's $5 a day? What if it's $5 3 times a day? What if it's 50 cents 2, 3, 5 times a day, or even once a day? All this adds up. And I'm coming back to, in the earlier topic where I was talking about how we paid off our house. And I just remember when Patrick and I sat down and decided to get serious. And we're doing the math. We're looking at all our bills. And the house was the last thing we had to get us completely out of debt. And Patrick's like, I think we can do this in 2 years. I think we should set a goal for 2 years. And I remember that scared me because I thought, what if we don't meet the goal? Or I'm gonna feel like I failed. I remember I was so worried about that. And he's like, there's nothing wrong with us just setting a goal. Because I'm thinking, well, I don't even see this as possible that we could do this in 2 years. I don't think we can. And he said, we need to just try. And I said, you're right. There's nothing wrong with setting a goal, even if it feels unrealistic. And then see if we can do it. I mean, what does it hurt to at least try? Well, here's what happened. As I started, because I'm the bookkeeper, as I started finding more and more things that, okay, I need to stop spending my money on this. And I mean, we hardly ever went out to eat, but we stopped doing that entirely. Like, we might have gone out once a month tops. And then we just stopped. It was like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. And anything like that, just cut. And sometimes they were just small things, really small things. That 50 cents here, that $1 there. And we started cutting those things. And amazingly enough, we not only met our goal of having the house paid off in 2 years, we paid it off 6 months earlier than we thought than our goal was. So we paid it off in 18 months because the more you do, and then you're taking that extra money, the money that you're saving, and you're putting it on the principal. And then you start seeing that principal go down, and then the money going into interest out of each payment gets less and less and less. So more of that payment, of the actual payment, is going onto the principal too. And so there's this, like Ramsey always says, I don't agree with everything he says, but the snowball effect is exactly what happens. And the same thing happens and can happen when you start getting into putting up food or putting up water or putting up whatever, or starting a garden with that. A lot of times when people first get into preparedness, canned food is the easiest thing to buy for a good price. So again, I still agree with that. I just, not for long term, but just to get you started. So when you start seeing your little hutches, your little cupboards, whatever it is, your little pantry, start getting these nice little rows of, here's some green beans, here's some corn, here's some peaches, flour and grains and rice and the beans. And then you start building on that and adding to it. And the more it grows, the more exciting it gets. And the more you're like, okay, what else can I cut? You know what? I really don't need this thing over here. I don't need this doggone useless Netflix subscription. Cut. Now I can take that money, whatever it is now these days, I have no idea. I can take that. I know when we had it, before I had it shut off, it was like up to $22 a month. Now I can take that $22 a month. And how far can I stretch that $22 to buy more food for my food storage? Even if you only get yourself ahead, let's say you set a very short, just a very small goal for yourself. Get yourself ahead by one full day of food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and coffee, of course. And you're going to be like, okay, that's one day. That's one extra day that I'm going to be okay. Then you're going to shoot for another extra day. Then it's going to be a week. Then it's going to be a month. And then it's going to be a year. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. Start somewhere. This is how we should be encouraging people, not telling them, well, it's too late for you. It's too late for you because you didn't listen to me when I was telling you this 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You didn't listen. So it's too late for you. We should never, ever, ever have that attitude, because we should be happy and excited to see anyone, I don't care who they are or what their attitude was, even if they were laughing at us 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We should be happy to see them getting on board, because I've been seeing it happen. Some of the same people that used to think I was crazy are getting on board, and I am thrilled. And look at it this way, if nothing else, if we're going to be selfish about it, that's one less person we have to worry about come knocking on our door. So we should be excited. We should be encouraging people. I don't care who they are. So I'm going to share another story that back in 2020, when everything blew up, right? And I thought, you know what, now's a good time for me to kind of step back a little bit and kind of go back to some basics, because there's going to be a lot of people now that are realizing the importance of food storage, storing toilet paper, for crying out loud, or whatever. And I just started putting out some videos of just some tips. Here's some ideas. Do. I knew it wasn't going to be for everyone, but I knew people were going to need that information. I had someone who'd been following me for maybe a couple years who just got so mad and basically yelling at me in a comment under one of those videos and saying, I don't care about those people. Stop dumbing everything down. We've already heard all this. They didn't listen. I don't care about them. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Well, I do. And if you don't like it, there's the door. Because I'm doing what I can to try to help people. This is why I'm here. My information costs you nothing. And this was back before memberships and all this other crazy stuff. I don't have any of this stuff. I don't make much money anymore on YouTube because all the changes they've made, and yet I'm still here trying to help people. It's my time, and I don't make a lot for it, but I want to see people be encouraged to get on board to take care of themselves and their family. I think this is important. And we should never be saying anything that's going to make people feel like, oh, I'll never be able to do it because so-and-so told me that I don't have enough time or money. No, we all have something we can do. Even if it's seeing if you could get some seeds from someone you know that gardens and get to know them, learn how to grow some potatoes. Some of the easiest things to grow. Maybe potatoes aren't the easiest thing to grow in your area. So find out what is something that's going to have a lot of calories and that has a lot of uses. That's why I say potatoes. Find out what grows naturally in your area. That's something you can do. You can forage things for free. Around here, berries, dandelions, plantain, even apples, because there's a lot of apple trees that just get abandoned on old properties. There's a lot of things that you can forage for. And it doesn't have to cost money. It might just take some work, some physical labor. So, and I could go on and on about all the billions of ways that people can find to better their situation. The main point of what I'm saying here is that for those of us who've already been there and done that for a while, never ever discourage anyone. Always be encouraging. Always share your own. This is why I do the video series on preparedness testimonies, because I hope it will encourage people to look at the positive side of preparedness. It's not all about doom and gloom like so many people have been led to believe. That's why a lot of people are afraid to get into it. Oh, because the doomsday preppers, it's all doom and gloom. No, it's not. No, it's not. It used to just be a way of life. It's what the Native Americans did. They were always preparing to get them through the hard months. And all around the world, people have been doing this. It was a way of life. Let's make it a way of life again. And for those of us also who've been doing it for a long time, we can also still look at ourselves and look at what we've done so far and say, okay, you know what? This here, I shouldn't have focused on that. That was kind of a waste of money and time. And this is something that's a lot more valuable to me. So this is where I'm going to start putting my focus. I mean, we all have those things, right? We all have those things that we thought we really needed and then realize that, this isn't all that useful, or I really don't like this. So we'll work through this or throw that out, and we're going to start over again. We all have areas that we can still improve on, no matter how experienced we are, no matter how far along we are in this. We can always improve. And I'm going to be very honest. We also have areas that we might have become lackadaisical in, that we used to be really good about, that we could get better about again. It happens to us all. Or at least I'd like to believe that it's not just me that sometimes gets lackadaisical about certain things. Like I went through a phase there where I wasn't making all my own bread all the time. Some, yes, but not all of it. And then I went back to making all my own bread again. We have our reasons, and sometimes maybe it's just some other stressors we're dealing with in our lives, or the time, or the energy, or we're sick, or we're whatever. And that's okay. That's okay. But sometimes it can also be harder to get back on track again. And so let's examine ourselves and look at ways and things that we can do better, because we all have areas, right? We had unexpected emergency and we were glad we were prepared. Exactly. Emergencies come in all kinds, and they're not even all bad, scary things. Sometimes they're just things that come up, like all of a sudden you got invited to some fun event and they want you to bring a dish. You weren't prepared for it. Oh, well, I got food in my food storage. I can make this dish and I can go. Thanks for coming in. Take care and God bless.